Hey everyone, so this is the very first video in chapter 7. So chapter 7, we are talking about a whole new type of equation. We're talking about polynomial equations. And this is the very first time we are seeing polynomials, and it is not going to be the last. You are going to work with polynomials this year and in all of your math classes in the coming years. So it's a really important concept. Make sure we take good notes. This video is for section 7.1, and it's just an introduction to polynomials. So what is a polynomial? That's what we're going to talk about first. A polynomial, it's an algebraic expression with one or more terms separated by an addition sign or a subtraction sign. Terms may include numbers, variables, and exponents. And so this is an example right here. It says 4xy squared plus 3x minus 5. It's important to notice that this is a term, this is a term, and this -5 is a term, okay? There are 3 terms in this polynomial. And so we know that because it's separated by an addition sign and a subtraction sign or subtraction sign. So these signs are what separate our terms, okay? It's really important. We always write polynomials in standard form. So what is standard form? Because that's super important. Standard form is arrange the terms in order of decreasing powers. In other words, highest exponent goes first. Powers, we know, is another word for exponents. And if that's decreasing powers makes sense to you, wonderful. If you need another way to remember it, it's order terms by exponents greatest to least. So they're decreasing. So if we look at this polynomial 3 minus 6x cubed plus 4x, the greatest exponent is that -6x cubed. That gets written first. Then plus 4x gets written next because it has the next lowest exponent. If we don't see an exponent, we know it's 1. And then that plus 3 is next, okay? Some things to note, it's really important that whatever sign is in front of the number comes with that number. So notice this was a -6x cubed. This was a -6x cubed. This was a positive 4x. It was a positive 4x. If there isn't a sign, we know it's a positive 3. Okay, so really important, whatever sign is in front of the number comes with that number. Okay, the leading coefficient, this is an important vocab word you're going to talk about for the rest of your math careers. The leading coefficient is the number in front of the variable with the highest exponent. In the example above, -6 is the leading coefficient. It's just the number in front of the variable, okay? Some other vocab here. Classifying a polynomial. There are 2 ways to classify a polynomial. First way, and this is the way we're going to do a lot, is by the degree or exponent of the polynomial. Variable with the highest exponent is how we're going to classify a polynomial. So if has a highest power of 0, so let's get some examples over here going. If the highest power is a 0, so if it was like a -3, there's no variable, so there's no exponent. The exponent's 0. It's going to be a constant polynomial. That's how we would classify it. If the exponent, the highest power is 1, so if it was like 2x plus 4, the exponent is a 1, then we call that a linear polynomial. If it's a 2, see how the exponent is a 2? We call that a quadratic, which we've talked about before. And if the highest exponent is a 3, we call that a cubic polynomial, okay? If there are two variables in the term, then you can add the powers together to find the degree. Okay, so let's check out some examples here. Problem 1. Find the degree of each monomial below. So monomial means it's just a polynomial with one term. Monomial, that prefix means one. Okay, so monomial 10. Notice there isn't a variable, so there's no exponent, so the degree is 0. 5x cubed, the exponent is a 3, so my degree is 3. Highest exponent, we've combined these guys, 1 and 2, it's going to be a 3. If I don't see an exponent, it's a 1. We're going to combine these, and I'm going to get a degree of 7. Okay, then this term monomial is our next method of how we can classify polynomials, by the number of terms in the polynomial. So if it has one term, monomial. If it has two terms, binomial, right? Like bicycle has 2 wheels. 3 terms, tricycle, right? Trinomial. Okay, great job. Big part of this lesson is just being able to write a polynomial in standard form, classify by its degree, and by the number of terms. Okay, so standard form, one term, that's easy. It's already going to be in standard form. By the degree, so we've got 4th degree polynomial. Number of terms, 4 terms. Oh, I'm sorry, number of terms. There's only one term, so we call it a monomial. Okay. We could start backwards. I've got 2 terms, so I've got a binomial. Type of degree, so notice my highest exponent is a 3, so that's the 3rd degree, or we can call that a cubic. We have a name for that. Standard form, term with the highest exponent goes first. Well, that's going to be that negative 5x cubed. It has a bigger exponent than this one, plus 7x squared. Biggest exponent goes in the front, so that's the 2n squared minus 8n plus 9. Highest exponent is a 2. It's a quadratic, or 2nd degree. 3 terms, we call it a trinomial. Standard form, highest exponent goes first. Well, it's already in standard form because this exponent is a 1 and the 5 doesn't have an exponent. Degree, there's exponent is a 1, so it's the 1st degree, or we call that linear. Number of terms, 2 terms, that's called binomial. 20, well, it's already in standard form. Degree, there's no variable, no exponent, so it's a 0 degree, or a constant. 1 term is a monomial. 1 term, it's already in standard form. Exponents are going to be 4th degree. And there's 1 term, we call it a monomial. 2 terms, we call that a binomial. Standard form, this one has the greater exponents. It goes first. And how many exponents? It has 5 as the greatest, so 5th degree. Okay, so those are some examples. One last problem here. It says the expression 2 pi r represents the circumference of a circle. Is this a polynomial? If so, what is the degree? So if we just look at 2 pi r, is that a polynomial? We're going to say yes. What type? Well, it has 1 term, so it's going to be a monomial. And what's the degree? The exponent is 1, so it's a linear monomial. Okay? All right, guys, that's 7.1. It's pretty short and sweet. It's all about vocab. Okay, we need to know basically these first couple things, how to write something in standard form, and how to classify a polynomial, and how to identify the degree of a polynomial. Okay, great job, guys. Keep up the great work.